There was a guy who used to come on television called Commander Mark.
Hi, I'm Commander Mark. You always want to learn how to draw, right? Well, today I'm going to teach you how to draw. I'm going to teach you how to conquer that flat piece of paper and draw in 3D.
I've never run into anyone else who's heard of him. But for a while, he was like a hero of mine because what he would do is he would stand next to this huge piece of paper and he would make this like space scene of these little creatures, and he would make up little habitats. They would have like little geometric homes and things like that. And I thought it was amazing because he would present it to the camera as though he was just thinking it up out of his mind. And he would do it in ink. And it would blow my mind that this guy had his own show freestyling things out in ink on public access television. And so I was like, he's awesome, and I wanted to be like him. So I used to like practice with markers and pens and stuff, but I was never good enough to not make mistakes. And then one day the camera got too close to the paper and I saw that it was all drawn out. And I was like, what? Like, no. I was way more motivated by wanting to be that dude in reality than to be the guy who's faking it on TV. So I was inspired, but in the wrong way. I got pulled aside when I was younger to be a therapist at school for other kids. So they wanted me to be a student counselor, and I was dealing with my own stuff and I didn't think I could help other people, but they really believed I could help other people. So that is a good reason why I paint, is to deal with my own stuff. And like, as long as my hands are busy, everything is a lot easier to deal with because I'm making progress in some way. Like, every painting is basically a short-term goal achieved. I want to say, if anything, people know my work by the palette. But at the same time, I've also had people tell me that I have my own style because I have at least 5 different ways that I approach painting. So to me, there really is no style. Like, my style is no style. A lot of people know that I do freestyle painting, or I just make things up as I go along, and I don't know basically what the end product is going to be. But I'm also an illustrator, and I love comic books, and I love cartoons, and I love music. And so anything that makes me happy and spurs me to paint, I do it. Life is mistakes, and painting is very much metaphorical for me. And like, I'm gonna make mistakes. It happens, and you can see it in the time-lapse video. I changed my mind a few times. There are faces in the eyes of the time-lapse painting, and those faces change like 8 times. I also put my signature probably 5 times too big in my paintings, so it's not necessarily difficult to tell some of them are mine. But my friends gave me a hard time when I was younger, when I first started painting, about not signing my paintings at all. So it was sort of a joke to sort of billboard my name in painting. I have black books, sketchbooks. It used to be a goal of mine to fill them up with images, and I'd get a new book every year. That Morningstar piece comes from a piece that I did in markers, and I originally did it probably in 1993. I decided to produce it as a larger painting. That's what my sketchbooks were originally for, is if someday my ideas dry up, that I can sort of go back to a time when I felt more able to express myself freely and non-judgmentally, and pull from that and then work from that until I work myself out of whatever funk I may happen to be in at the time. I guess if I just describe myself as an artist, I would describe myself as an escape artist. I don't really paint for the sake of showing in galleries or getting a commission necessarily. Like, I absolutely like getting paid for what I do. And I've been blessed to be able to have that happen and have people seek me out to do things for them. But it's really about getting over my own stuff and like progressing with something that I enjoy doing. Because while I'm painting, time doesn't exist. I don't keep clocks anywhere around me when I'm in the studio. I like to be able to lose myself in it, and it's literally just a way to get away from things.